Man, James Gunn really upped the ante with Peacemaker episode 6. So I want to talk about Peacemaker episode 6 and my thoughts on it. A lot of stuff happened. I remember hearing that James Gunn was teasing that we were going to get some kind of big twist or something. And there was definitely some stuff that happened here. This episode, interestingly enough, not quite heavy on the comedy, but really heavy on pushing the story forward. Now the story's really moving. The whole thing here, if we remember the cliffhanger, was um that he got, oh, excuse me, Adebayo got attacked. And then we find out that, he didn't kill her or anything like that. And there's like backstory on the butterfly. So there's different butterfly factions here. They're not all bad. Some of the butterflies are good. So there were two major storylines going on in this episode. One was there was like a fake diary that the Peacemaker had made, and at the end of the episode it was revealed, kind of like the whole thing about the aliens, just done to incriminate them. And that's one, actually no, three major storylines. The second one was sort of the evolution of the butterflies, because what wound up happening here, and this was really surprising, they had this big scene in a forest. Well, first of all, I want to say I love the Peacemaker in school scene. I loved it. I love when she asked him about an origin story and he had that PTSD flashback. And I love the interaction between Sophie and Robert Patrick, bro. I love it. I love it. I love it. So yeah, he got out. White Dragon got out. But what I wanted to talk about is there was this big sequence, right? And the butterfly, one of the butterflies gets into the cop's mouth, and that ends up to Sophie's mouth. That ends up pushing the plot of the second half of the episode, which was the invasion of the butterflies, or at least the bad ones, has begun. They didn't reveal everything, but they revealed some stuff about they're from a dying planet, and there's like a whole backstory here. But they find this place called Coverdale Ranch where they think that the butterflies are using a cow, like literally a cow, and milking the cow to mass produce the fluid that they use to eat. So they're thinking about if they kill the cow, then they can, which is going to be the next episode probably, which is going to be directed by Brad Anderson. James Gunn wrote and directed this episode. But they're thinking the next episode that could happen. So the show's getting wackier and wackier. Vigilante had a couple of great moments in this episode. Not as many as before, but enough that it was funny. But this episode really pushed the story, and I enjoyed it. It wasn't my favorite episode. Oh, I got a beep. It wasn't my favorite episode, but it was one that I definitely enjoyed. And the other big cliffhanger is the White Dragon is out. He's got a bunch of followers, and he's about to go and try to kill his own son, the Peacemaker. So, man, these last two episodes coming up are going to be very interesting. This show, along with Boba Fett, are about to hit their season finales, and it's going to be really interesting to see where this goes. So, let's enjoy the ride together. Peacemaker, man, tell your friends to watch this show. Tell your friends to watch it if they haven't, because it's a fun time. Anyways, those are my thoughts on this episode. Good episode, not my favorite at all, but it is one that pushed the story forward. And you guys know, like, when you watch these shows, it's not the last episode. It's the second to last or third to last episode that really pushes, sort of begins it's the calm before the storm. They're setting up the pieces. They're setting up the all of the components of what's going to happen in the finale, and then we're going to get the finale. You know what I mean? They're right now, a lot of it is just build up for the last two episodes. I don't know if it's going to be like the last episode's a big one, or if it's going to be the last two, but they're probably going to be very interesting. James Gunn is coming back to direct the last episode, so that should be really interesting. With that being said, I will let y'all go. Have a great one, and I'll talk to y'all soon.